It's week 11 of the NFL season, and after 2 weeks of being a national joke, the Miami Dolphins finally hit a new low by playing a game. I'm Kevin Clark, the national NFL writer for The Journal. I'm with my editor, Geoff Foster. Geoff, we have 7 weeks left in the season. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. Let's make some bold predictions, some insane predictions, stuff will get you laughed out of any bar,
I don't know if this is
room.
that insane, but I'm going to say the Giants are making the playoffs. They were the laughing stock of that division for a while. They're 3-6. I still think they're the best team. You got to figure they're going 9-7. They got the Redskins twice. They got the Cowboys. They got the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. They'll probably lose at Detroit. It's going to come down to a game in Seattle. I think they can do it. I think they might only lose one of those games.
Seattle's pretty good. They'll be fighting for home field advantage late in the season.
And the
Don't
cold
forget that.
on the road,
All right, you're
on
wrong.
the East Coast.
You're wrong. The Dallas Cowboys are going to make the playoffs out of the NFC East. Not only that, here's my bold prediction about them. They will make the NFC title game.
No.
I think Tony Romo, playoff games are won by big plays.
Are playoff games ever won by defense? Because
They're actually never won by Tony Romo.
They're giving up
more specifically
close to 500 yards a game.
Here's the deal.
There.
He is throwing the deep ball as good as anybody in the NFL. He's got 7 touchdowns with passes over 20 yards, only 1 interception. He's only getting sacked 22 times. He's thrown the ball 460 times. It's a good offensive line. I think you only need to make 7-8 plays over the course of 3 games to put together a great Super Bowl run. No, I think they can really make a difference come January. Tony Romo's a good quarterback. Even in clutch situations.
I'm just saying the defense is terrible.
No, he gets a bad rep. He can put up 50 points. He has. Against teams like the Broncos. All right, what else you got? What other wrong things do you have?
All right, Carolina Panthers are not only making the Super Bowl, I think they might win the Super Bowl. And here's this. They're going to do it out of the wild card spot also, because I don't think they're going to win the division. I think the Saints will probably take the division. They have to play them twice. They'll probably split that. But I'm on board. I'm driving the bandwagon. I saw enough at San Francisco.
You trust Cam
He's
Newton?
one of those quarterbacks, he just does enough to win the game. And I think he's a winner. He was a winner at Auburn, and I think he'll win the games when he needs to. And the defense is they're allowing 13 points a game.
Much winning the last 2 years.
Okay, now he's turned the corner.
He's winning.
It's the defense. Again, it's that other side of the ball. You know, it seems to be important sometimes.
4 games, and all of a sudden he's Mariano Rivera. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Here's the deal. AFC West. Everyone's talking about how dominant a division it is. Kansas City, Denver. My bold prediction, neither of those teams win a playoff game. I think they go over 2 in their first 2 playoff games. I don't like the health of Peyton Manning. That high ankle sprain is really, really tricky. He throws these perfect passes. They can be really messed up by anything wrong with your body. A high ankle sprain is something really wrong with your body if you're a quarterback. With Kansas City, I just don't buy it. I just don't buy the fact they're running the same play.
They're going to be 60-0, and everyone's going to predict them
over and over again, basically. 80% of their passes are thrown within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. It's a joke. It's a gimmick. I just don't see it working in January. And you look at the way their defense is constructed. I wrote this last week. They give up something like 5.3 yards per carry up the middle of the field. You think that there's not a guy like Gio Bernard in Cincinnati, something like that, who's going to exploit that?
I'm not sure they're making the playoffs, by the way.
I think they will. Who else is the Browns? You got the Browns there? Now we're getting into really bold predictions.
Let's get to the upset picks.
Yeah, okay. Well, no, here's my thought. I think one team will exploit that. They'll run the ball down the throat 40 times. Dontari Poe is a great defensive tackle, but overall, I think you can exploit that because he's looking to sack the quarterback. I think there could be trouble in Kansas City. Okay, upset picks. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not going to pick the Chiefs, but I am going to. We talked about
that's barely an upset. That's an easy stance against the Broncos.
I'm not picking it.
Right.
We talked about the AFC North. I like the Ravens. I think they're actually going to win that division. They did. Here's a fun fact about the Ravens. They won the Super Bowl last year.
They did.
I think they go to Chicago.
They won the NFL Super Bowl.
Yeah, they won the NFL Super Bowl last year. The Ravens go to Chicago, they win. Chicago doesn't have Jay Cutler. They're just not as good of a team without him. And the biggest problem with the Ravens is they got to get the ball away from Ray Rice. The guy is clearly not healthy. He's 26 years old. I don't buy that he just lost all his talent. I think he's playing hurt. I would give it to Pierce while he heals up, and they'll be more like the team we saw last February.
I'll tell you something about Ray Rice. 58% of Ravens rushes go for 2 yards or less.
He's been terrible, no doubt.
I saw a stat the other day. They're going to be the worst rushing team in like 70 years.
They got to change it, and I think they're finally going to do it.
Yeah, they're going to break out this week. This is the week they all put it together. Give me a break. Okay. The Minnesota Vikings are going to beat the Seattle Seahawks.
That's nuts.
No, it sounds crazy, but listen, the Seahawks haven't looked that good. They looked okay they're great against the Atlanta Falcons, but again, you or I could look great against the Atlanta Falcons. I just think that overall, they're bringing Percy Harvin back. He's going to be their star, jack of all trades. He never played with them because he was acquired from Minnesota last year, but I think that there's going to be some growing pains with that. I don't necessarily see them being able to just put him in the offense and it being fluid. I think there could be some adjustments, some forcing the ball to him. them. Look, they're without some of their best players on offense. Their offensive linemen.
So they're
coming
adding
back.
a great player, and they're going to be worse.
Yeah, well, Russell Okung, all these guys could be back, but look, they haven't played this year.
Yeah, they're
you
a
never
little
know. I
overrated.
mean, it's
I buy that.
preseason for them. Anyway, Minnesota. Okay, that's it for us. Good luck with Week 11, and heed our bold predictions because they're all coming true, especially the ones that contradict each other.